Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is Hardball from the Marion County Messenger. We're joined today by Rurik Brandt, Tony Mangiemeli, and we are going to be discussing Tony's candidacy for the county commission. And this is Rurik, of course, comes from a different political ideology than I do. And we both participated in writing the questions. The idea is that it will be nonpartisan. And this is open to any candidate for any position in Marion County that wants to come on. We'll be happy to get you on an interview. Rurik, Tony, if you guys would like to begin.
I just want to clarify too, though, this is going to be for all candidates.
All candidates.
I don't want you to get in trouble.
Yes,
So you are
that's
offering
right.
this to every candidate, not just a select few.
No, not
Okay.
just a select
Just
few.
want to clarify. Okay.
This is really for the benefit of the public.
Right.
Because their vote is precious, and we want them to make sure that they know very well you
Right.
and every other candidate. So that's why we're doing this. Okay, so Tony, thank you again for raising your hand and running for office. I think it's wonderful, and you're running for the commissioner seat in District 3. So let's start with the first question. Why do you believe you are a better choice than the current commissioners holding those positions?
God, I hate to use that word better, right? Because I think we're all as humans equal, and I hate to use that word better. But what separates me, I think, from other candidates is that, when I go to these county commission meetings, sometimes I see, people bashing heads and arguing, and I think I would take a different approach to that aspect of it. If I had a person across the aisle, we'll say, that had a different opinion than me, I would say, you know what, let's go have a drink. Let's figure this out. Let's not argue, especially in front of everybody else. Let's figure this out. Let's come to a conclusion. Maybe you can educate me, maybe I can educate you. And I think that would separate me as well. And plus, I'm not a politician, right? I'm not your average politician. I'm not a politician at all, right? I'm out to become a politician. I'm just your average Joe. So I can't be bought. God's blessed me with everything I need, so I don't need any more. And I can't be intimidated to vote a certain way versus another way. And I'm not saying that there's corruption going on, but I'm hearing there is. I can just guarantee you on my side of it, that's just not going to happen. It just can't happen.
Okay.
It won't happen. Yeah.
Well, I think that's a great answer. Many residents are tired of empty promises and seek honest, transparent answers. Do you commit to speaking truthfully and standing by your words?
So I am a devout Christian. I go to Mount Bethlehem Church in South Pittsburgh. Lamar Jenkins is my pastor in a phenomenal church. So I have a moral compass. I've always been a religious man. I might not look like it with all the tattoos, but I am a very religious man. So I have a moral compass. And I'm also full-blood Italian, and in our culture, as a man, all you have is your word. And if you don't have that, you're nothing. So I also don't want to get caught in a lie, in public, especially out with our community where I'm going to be living and socializing in, and I just don't want to be known as a liar. So it's just, again, just can't happen. Won't happen.
Outstanding. Okay. Since moving to the community, what specific actions have you taken to demonstrate your commitment to the entire county, not just Jasper Highlands?
Right. So my commitment's never been just to Jasper Highlands. I live here and that's it. But I love this community. I love South Pittsburgh. I love Jasper. I love Whitwell. I love all of it. I just love the beauty of it. And what I've done so far is me and another gentleman up here by the name of Samuel started a mentoring group for the kids down in South Pittsburgh High School. And we a lot of us up here, we feel like we have to give back to the community. And a lot of people up here volunteer down there. So we really see the issues of what's going on in our community, and we want to fix it. So me and Samuel, we started this little mentoring group, and we used to go down to high schools quite often. Things have changed, and we're starting to restructure it all. But we go down and help these kids in any way, shape, or form, give them job skills, how to balance a checkbook. Maybe go do different, introduce them to different jobs they can do, or just be their friend, or be a father figure for them. One of the first things I did in the first months that I lived here is I noticed that the kids have no place to go. And I hate that, and it bothers me. I hate seeing them at Walmart doing nothing, and it could lead to getting in trouble. So I worked with Mayor Jackson on working at the old community college, I think was down there, and we're going to turn it into a rec center. You know, I wanted to turn it into a rec center so these kids have a place to safely go. And not only that, there's going to be 3 classrooms so they can have study hall there. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a gym there for the athletes and then a huge rec room for everybody else. It was going to be perfect. That fell through. They sold the building, but I'm committed to this county and to make it as great as it can be. Now remember, I'm not trying to make it better. I'm trying to make, because I don't think it needs to be better. I think it's great as it is. But when the time comes to make it better, I'll make sure it's done the right way.
Okay. All right. The oath to serve the many should always come before loyalty to a few. Do you believe that your previous commitments should take priority over your oath to the people you pledged to serve?
So my previous commitments, whatever they might have been, are out the door because it has nothing to do with the people of the community. So the community and the people are going to come first and foremost. So whatever the community needs, whether it's going to make a few unhappy, then so be it. I got to make the decision where what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. Whatever is best for this community, that's what's going to happen.
Okay. With no zoning laws currently in place, how will you work to preserve the rural character of Marion County? Do you believe there's a good old boy network influence local decisions?
Right. I'll start with the first one, zoning laws. I'm not, again, because I'm still green in all this, so I don't know all the zoning laws, but I really hope that there isn't anything coming to destroy this community, right? The beauty of it, you know. This kind of reminds me of Hawaii, right? With all the trees and stuff like that. So if there's zoning that's going to damage our environment, and I can put a stop to it, I would definitely try to put a stop to it. Good old boy system. Is there a good old boy system here? Absolutely. Sure, there's a good old boy system. I understand the good old boy system. I get the good old boy system. What I mean by that is when you're born and raised in a state or community and you've gone to high school and elementary school and college with this person and he's in higher power and you need a favor and you pull a favor, I get it. But I don't agree with it when it's not beneficial for our community and our county. If it's not beneficial for our community or it runs a risk of hurting our community in any way, shape, or form, the good old boy system can't exist. It's just, I get it, but I don't agree with it 100%, meaning I get it, but yet, if it's not good for the community because, oh, hey, get me this job even though I don't qualify for it. No. If you don't qualify, you don't get it. It's got to be the best man for the job.
One quick note. Because we have no zoning in Marion County, it makes us a target for every type of industrial company that wants to come here, whether it be a chicken plant, whether it be a paper mill.
Right.
Now, I had proposed a Special Powers Act, which does not at all impact farmers at all. What the purpose of it gives the citizen the opportunity to go to a commissioner, and through the commissioner, we have the ability to regulate where they're at. So, and we make those laws. Right. So we could literally say it may be impractical to say it has to be a mile from a house or from a community, but we can actually say, hey, maybe 2,500 feet, maybe 1,500 feet. So the Special Powers Act, although a lot of people misunderstood it, I think minus having zoning, it's the only thing we have to help the citizens here where their community doesn't get flooded by multiple quarries and nothing wrong with quarries, just there's a place for them.
Right.
So
and we want the right jobs to come here.
Yeah.
Right. We don't want this to be all rock quarries and chicken coops because you're going to smell the chickens and it's just we have a beautiful area. We don't want to ruin it with all those type of jobs. Now there's a place for those types of jobs, but like you said, maybe a lot further away from the community because again, we don't want to ruin our community. You know, I'd rather see better jobs with higher pay.
Well, that's what Duke alluded to earlier. That
like Google coming right around the corner. Yeah, we want to bring the jobs. we want these kids coming up to have good jobs, right? We want them to make good money and better themselves instead of this vicious cycle that I'm seeing after generation after generation after generation. You know, these, and that's what I'm seeing also in this mentoring group that we do in South Pittsburgh High School, is that these kids are stuck. They're stuck. And this is not made up. This is stuff that the kids have told me. But in certain households, one of the family members are holding them back from bettering themselves. They don't want to see them do better. They don't want to see them leave the house and go to college. And that's heartbreaking. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I want to see some good local jobs come here just to make this place better in that aspect economically.
And I think you'll agree that with having, let's just, for instance, say that we had the best school system in the country,
right?
Or let's even say in a 4 or 5 county region,
right?
The people that would be attracted to a good school district would be doctors, be lawyers, professionals, high-paying jobs, and then, you know, of course, it affords a better education for the children as well. So we know the schools is something that's really important.
That's the first thing people look for, is the schools. And our schools here, unfortunately, are below standards, and we got to fix that. We really got to fix our education system here and get these kids better educated. And just because, I mean, this sounds so cliche, but you know, children are our future, right? So I mean, we got to make sure that they're properly educated.
And as a commissioner, what you'll find out, the only way that you can really impact that outside of your elected position as a commissioner is funding, because that's the only, you know, your biggest responsibility obviously is a fiduciary one. Right. So that's why trying to get additional people on board to perhaps run for these school board jobs, not saying there's you know, significant issues with the school board, but I think it would be helpful with having new people that have other ideas, fresh eyes on something would really be helpful. Yeah. Okay, with no zoning laws currently in place, how will you work to preserve the rural character of Marion County? Do you believe, sorry, that's a repeat, I apologize. What measures will you implement to prevent developers from using hidden money or political ties to harm our rural areas?
You know, I hear these rumors that, you know, certain people are getting these envelopes from certain developers, and like I said, if a developer tries to give me an envelope, I'm going to laugh in his face. But I'll also call it out. You know, if I see, I'll make up a name, this person doesn't exist, but if I see Jake over there, the commissioner, talking to someone and possibly getting an envelope, or I heard that he did take an envelope, I'll have a talk with him, and a stern talk with him, and it's like, how does this benefit us? Yeah. How does this benefit our community? You know what I mean? And if I have to do it, I'll have to call them out in the right environment. Yeah.
Okay. If local politics becomes challenging, how will you stay committed and continue moving forward?
God has made my shoulders built to take on a big load. I've always taken on a lot. I've been through a lot. I've been around the block a few times. Yes, this is probably going to be a headache. Yes, this is probably going to be a pain in the you know what. But this is where God is leading me. And if God wants me to do this, I'll do this. And I know that I have God to protect me and to keep me going. So not even worried about that.
Okay. How do you plan to connect with residents who are weary of newcomers?
You know what's funny is I've already been doing that for the past 4.5 years I've moved here. I guess I've been politicking before I even knew I was going to get into politics, right? I talk to everybody. I'm friends with everybody. Matter of fact, I even made a list here of the locals who don't know me out there. If you want to, I know everyone likes to verify people here and make sure that they're okay, or they are who they say they are. So I made a list here: Brent Talley, Richard Rogers, Donald Blanson, Mayor Rex, Mayor Jackson, Kim, the owner of Max Fit, Charles the detective, Clarence Howard, Terry and Jessica Gans, Jarvis from South Pittsburgh Church, which is my deacon, Lamar Jenkins, which was also my pastor at the church. Fathead, that's what he calls himself. He's the cop at South Pittsburgh. Chief Wayne, aka Midget, great friend of mine, great guy. Steve Lowry, he's a real estate man, very great guy. Matt Johnson, Carol Scott, David at church, when church is tired, him and his father, fantastic people. The twins, Jeanette Thompson and their sister, they crack me up, they're funny people. And Josh Kilgore. I mean, these are all my friends, and I know that so many locals are so worried about us Californians coming here, right? That's a big discussion down there. And trust me, I get it. I get it. If I was born and raised here, and I'm hearing all these Californians are coming here, and all I know is from what I see on TV about these Californians, right? I would be very nervous too. But you got to remember, California once was blue. I mean red. I'm sorry, it was once red. And I've been in California since the early 80s, okay? And we've seen it turn blue. And it's not what we're trying to do. These Californians aren't going to bring their ideas here. We left there for a reason. We left California because we didn't like the views and the taxes and the way things were going, okay? So we are definitely not going to change this county into California. We left there for a reason. We love it the way it is, and we want to keep it the way it is. So you don't have to worry about that. Plus, I was actually born and got my morals from Florida. So the way I joke around is I was born in Florida, I was kidnapped, taken to California, and I escaped and came to freedom in Tennessee. So I love it here and don't have any intentions on changing.
Okay, thank you. Okay, have you ever taken a stand against local leaders to demonstrate your independence and commitment to integrity?
Yes. One of the things I did early on, this was also about three and a half years ago, is I fought the water company. The developer here sold the water rights to the water company because he had to. And the water company never changed the price of the water that the developer was charging us. And there's a legal word for that, and I forgot what it was, but it was illegal. So I took a stance. I met with the water company several times to try to work with them. And they tried to tell me, well, they charge so much for the water because you have to pump it up the hill. So I said, well, here's my laptop here, and here's your website, and you got Lookout Mountain, same elevation we are, and they actually pay 3 times less for the first 2,500 gallons, and we pay 6 times higher for every gallon after that. Why is that same elevation? They had no answer. So I said, I'll see you in court. So we took them to court. I worked with the district attorney. We fought with them for 2 or 3 years. They tried to raise our rates even more, and I tried to get them to lower rates. So we won partially. They didn't raise our rates, but the part where to lower our rates, we're still fighting for that. So yeah, I had to fight. I had to stand up by myself and fight the water company by myself. So I don't like bullies, right? Ever since I was a child, I didn't like bullies. So I stood up to bullies as a child. I'm gonna stand up to bullies as an adult. So rather it be a developer or rather it be a water company, if you're doing wrong, I'm coming after you.
Okay. Okay, this is the last question, but we'll have some additional.
Okay. Yeah.
I have something at the end I want to ask, but
Okay.
you'll like it.
All right, good.
Why should residents believe that you are running to serve the community rather than for your personal career advancement?
Well, I have no personal career advancement I can get. It could get me. So, for instance, I was part of a construction company called MGK Construction, and I know there were some people saying, "Oh, he's doing it so he can help his development company." Well, I have legal documentation. I'm willing to share this with anybody. Just give me your email. I'll email it to you. That I got out of that company back in June. I had them buy me out. I had nothing to do with that company. I still do have an insurance company, but that's in California. Yes, I sell insurance here. I do it out of fun. I do it out of boredom. I'm a workaholic. I just need to do something or I'm gonna go crazy or drive my wife crazy. So I'm already financially set. Like I said, God's blessed me. I don't need any more advancement. Okay. You know, so I'm just doing this because I'm being led to do this through God, and so be it. If I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. You know, but God's got my back, so I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, this question is, to tell where a man's going to, you have to look at where he's come from.
Right.
Tell us about the folks on the wall behind you.
So, this is where, right now we're sitting in my speakeasy at my home, and this is family. This is my wife's family, my family. We're talking, a lot of these pictures were taken back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. My family came from Italy back in 1903, opened up a little deli in Brooklyn, New York, got involved a little bit with certain things. But yeah, this is just family, and that's what me and my wife are all about. We're all about family, and people who know me and follow me on social media, they'll see that that's all we're about is family. We go on a lot of family vacations, nothing elaborate, camping, things like that. But we love family, and I brought pretty much my whole wife's family here. I mean, we got my wife's mother here. We brought my wife's sister here, her two nephews, or a niece and nephew here. I brought a brother of mine from Florida, who's not my blood brother, but I consider my brother. He's my godmother's son, known since birth. She has a best friend that just bought a lot right here, who's going to be building a house. We have another friend who's bought a lot over here, who's going to be building a house. And we also have my wife's brother and sister-in-law who bought a house here as well, and is going to be building here. So we're all about family, and we stick together.
Outstanding. Yeah. Duke, you got anything else?
That's all I got. And we have certainly enjoyed talking with you, Tony, as always. And we thank you for coming on.
Thank you for coming.
And we want to thank everybody out there for streaming and listening, and we hope you enjoyed it. We'll be doing more interviews. If you're a candidate, you want to talk to us, just reach out and give us a message at the Marion County Messenger or call me or Rurik.
And also, if anybody out there who's interested in knowing a little bit more about me, because, I'm not from here, and you have any concerns, reach out to him and give him your number. I'll call you personally. I'll even meet you somewhere. We can sit down and talk, and I'll tell you anything you want to know. I am fully transparent. I got nothing to hide, and what you see is what you get.
Have a good evening, folks.